Alright, guys. Hope you're ready for this one. You knew it was coming. The creation. So, in the opening pages of the Bible, somewhere along the lines, it's God created the heavens and the earth. And that's, I guess like in every Bible for that matter. But what I'm about to tell you goes a little deeper. Because creation is so big and just kind of, came out of nowhere. We're led to believe that just one man had this, power and developed an entire race of people, and so on and so forth. Um, when we look into, religion a lot, or Christianity, because it's easy, not that complicated. You got the Jesus, the 12 apostles, his disciples. We all kind of have a rational idea what they look like too. But we'd be wrong because you look at the area today, Israel, uh, Middle East, back then, Mesopotamia, Jerusalem. Um, these guys all were probably born around in or around that area. So what we see in pictures, modern pictures today, are Renaissance pictures. Mostly Italian. These weren't guys sitting, sipping espresso at a cappuccino bar or something. No, they probably looked, dark, had Semitic features. We had saints that were from North Africa. That, when the pictures or the icons don't look very North African. Um, Heck, even the popes, they weren't all paisans. Sure, they originated in Rome, but their families elsewhere. There was a lot of Greek popes from, Asia Minor, Anatolia, which is modern day Turkey. You had some from Syria, different parts of the Middle East, different parts of North Africa. Even the patriarchs, show a little different diversity going on. So it just goes to show you, there were a mesh of all sorts of people that came together to serve a higher power, or at least be an extension or a voice for that higher power. So it leaves a lot to speculate. Jesus himself. We got an array of pictures of what he might look like. He was a Palestinian Jew. In fact, most of them were Palestinian Jews that converted to Christianity. So just look up what a Palestinian person looked like. I mean, you guys have CNN. I'm sure you've seen someone, that from that country that kind of paints a picture. Okay, so you got that part right. All right, so let's keep going. The Creator, God. Dun dun dun. Um, Not really a description so much. We always kind of, go towards Jesus when we're talking about God. A lot of people like to compare the two, or, make them into one person. Um, or, there's another thing. He winds up looking like Father Time. Big long beard, long white hair. It also looks like, the Titan Kronos, or the Greek god Zeus. Strange coincidence. Now this is where it gets kind of crazy. So in a previous video, I mentioned about the ancient Anunnaki, right? Those were these supposed, aliens that came down and, kind of landed in ancient Mesopotamia, Samaria, all those places, and developed man to help them, with the labor, because they got tired of digging, so they created people. This one guy in particular, Inky, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Took blood from one of his species, mixed it with dirt, and boom. Now that line is kind of along the lines of the Bible. God, created man in His own image out of clay and breathed life into it, and there now you got us. The whole Adam and Eve thing. Took a rib from Adam, made Eve, all that stuff. So there's another guy from Greek mythology called Prometheus. The movie Prometheus? It's kind of like, that's the story of that. But my story's less, alienish, unless you consider the gods alien. If you ever watch Ancient Aliens, you know what I'm talking about, but that's another story. So yeah, Prometheus, he's a Titan, so he's before the Olympians, you know, Zeus, Hermes, Poseidon, so before those guys. All right, and Prometheus is kind of a trickster, right? You know, kind of doesn't really do what he's told, you know, likes to explore, all that stuff, right? So one day he's like, man, how could I create an entire race of people? So, what does he do? He creates man, you know, he gets, you know, mud and clay, starts sculpting people, you know, and brings them to life, and then teaches them. He goes a step further, gets fire, borrows it from another god or another source, and teaches it to them. Now, what's this do? Um, Everything goes chaotic, actually. This race of, you know, clay people that are, you know, pretty much us, take and run with it. You know, we start building colonies, warring with each other, and it's a disaster. And he's like, oh, I kind of messed up, you know. And the boss man, you know, Zeus at this point, because there's like a big, you know, big civil war against the Titans and the Olympians, and Zeus being the big shot in that. So I think of like a revolution, kind of like in heaven, you know, when you had, you know, two factions of angels fighting each other. One side won. Well, in this case, Zeus won that war, and Prometheus kind of played both sides. Um, you know, Prometheus obviously favored the Olympians over the Titans. He himself was a Titan, and Zeus told him multiple times, "Don't do it. Don't do it, man. You know, it's bad news. These humans are gonna go nuts and start, you know, wrecking stuff." And that's what they did. You know, you teach someone fire, it's like, you know, they went crazy with it. So obviously he was very unhappy about that and had to deal with it. So what did he do? He called up his brother Poseidon. He's like, you know, yo, Poseidon, these humans are going nuts. They're like multiplying like crazy. They're all over the place. Crack open the earth. And Poseidon's like, sure, no problem. I have a bad temper. And he cracks open the earth. A big flood whips out like a good percentage of them, saves a little bit, and says, hey, listen, don't do this again. Learn from your mistakes, and you can continue about your business. That kind of sounds like Noah's Ark a little bit, you know, the whole story with Noah. You know, big flood, you know, wash away all the sinning humans and leave a little bit to start over again. You see what I mean? See the parallels here? It's crazy. I'm not making this up, by the way. You can look it up. I'm probably exaggerating the story just to make it interesting to you guys so you don't click away. But you can definitely look it up. It's real. These existed, these stories. Enki and the Anunnaki, Prometheus and the Titans and the Greek gods. All this was written down, just like the Bible. I'm not discrediting anything. I myself am a Christian. I, you know, respect all religions, you know. I think it's just fascinating. I like the history behind religions and their creation and the, you know, dedication that some people will go mad or go to war over. You know, it's empowering if you think about it. So whoever this creator is had all these great ideas and just, you know, wound up being like a big experiment. Some people were okay with it. Some people went rogue and did their own stuff, just like the story of Prometheus. So back to him, by the way. So Zeus is like, see, now I had to do this mess and wipe out half, you know, a million people here. So he winds up bolting this guy with chains to like a mountainside. And every night or day, an eagle comes and eats the dude's like liver or like his intestines, like his insides, you know, his stomach. And because, you know, Prometheus is a Titan, it just heals. But he can't do nothing because he's bound in chains on the side of this mountain, and he has to witness, you know, his, you know, stomach being torn apart by an eagle. And it heals, and the next day it happens again, and this happens over and over again. So this is the guy's punishment. So, you know, Zeus kind of, you know, made him an example. And it wasn't till the half-god Hercules, actually, this is another story, came by in his, you know, journey, saw Prometheus in his really sad state, was like, I'm going to free that guy. And that's what he did. So Hercules, you know, freed the, you know, creator of man. another story you could check out. I'll leave a link or something. Maybe you guys could, dive into it if you'd like, and don't take my word for it. Like I said, you could, do all the research you want to back my story up. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you because I thought it's just crazy how similar these things are. And obviously, these Greek and Sumerian and different religions predate our Bible, or the Quran, or the Kabbalah, all these things, and it makes you want to think: did certain people borrow this to create a new religion? Is it recycled material, just a different face, or is it the same person, the whole time, just weaving a different tale and telling it different, kind of like a campfire story, different ending. Maybe you change up your characters, like a remake. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and how we perceive things today may not have been how they were originally intended. And just kind of my point I want to drive across here. There's even, a pagan-y Jesus figure too. You have Mithras, Apollodorus. All these guys were, considered Jesus figures that did miracles, and were praised by the people. And some of them were, martyred, and some not. But I don't want to deep dive into that. That's a whole other ball game there. So, but anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, and how we could relate to current religion to the past, and keep looking to the past, because maybe they were onto something. Maybe they know a little bit more than we do today, and if we exploit that and use it, not to take it and run with it, but to help us understand the present, and we can put it to good use maybe, and stop fighting each other over different stuff. Because if we all came from the same being, or extraterrestrial, maybe, I don't know, wouldn't that make things a little easier? Then really, if things are that similar and just told and reiterated in different stories, hey, if the base is the same, right? Why argue? I don't know. That's just my theory. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely look into it yourself, because a lot of what I said, there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of this was written down by philosophers, and there's some weight to the story. Obviously, I had to be a little animated just to get my point across here. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something. Thanks for listening, and if you want to comment, or like and subscribe, like those other YouTube guys, definitely. Alright guys, thanks for listening. Until next time, peace.